We bought these bracelets, and it says their story doesn't end till we stop telling it. And I want to talk about her. I don't want her to be forgotten.
More than a year has gone by since 18-year-old Alyssa Moore was murdered. Holidays, birthdays, milestones have all passed, and still the grief can be overwhelming for Alyssa's mother, Misty Knox.
I mean, we all get up and go to work and smile, but that grief is just there. It just hits you, it comes in waves. You know, one day you think you're gonna be okay, and the next day you're falling apart in the middle of work, or you know, you have to step outside because just a smell, a commercial on TV, just a song, and it just hits you all over again.
You know the saying, time heals everything. But for Misty and her family, there's still so many questions left unanswered. How can you heal when the person responsible hasn't been arrested?
The person that did it is free.
Alyssa grew up in Grandview, Washington, where she lived with her grandparents just a couple houses away from her mom and sisters. Misty says out of all her children, Alyssa was the most headstrong.
Very stubborn, and she was her. You couldn't change her. She was Grandpa's girl. She was known for that. She was Grandpa's girl, and she was definitely her sister's keepers. Since she was little, she loved music. And at school, she was the one that stuck up for the underdog, for the kid that was being picked on.
Misty says Alyssa's father lived in the Tri-Cities, and once she got her driver's license, she would visit the area when possible. It was the night of September 21st when Alyssa wanted to make the 40-minute drive to Kennewick.
And she's like, Grandpa, I just really need to go up there. I need to go up there and take care of something. I'll be right back. I promise.
The 18-year-old wasn't able to keep that promise, but not by her own doing. It was at the hands of someone else on September 22nd that Alyssa never returned to Grandview.
3:30 in the morning, we got a phone call. I got a phone call. And they told me she was laying in the street. She was gone. And so I called my mom. And I woke her up and I said, we gotta go, Mom. We gotta go. It's just a nightmare.
Misty says the story she's been told is Alyssa went outside of the house party at her father's friend's house, gunshots were heard, and Alyssa was found dead on the ground.
I just wanted them to pick her up off the ground. You know, I'd like get her. You know, you got multiple people that were at this party. You got people out there videotaping, and I'm just like, it's just a blur. They let me and my daughter see her. My parents couldn't do it, but I had to see her one more time. And that was hard.
Now, over a year later, no one has been arrested for Alyssa's murder, and Misty says there's been a holdup on crime scene evidence with the state crime lab.
I was told several months back that she was pretty close to the top to having her evidence processed. We were told that they lost 75% of their staff due to COVID vaccines. Understandable. I know that happened to a lot of companies. Then we were told she was pretty close to the top. Then nothing. And then we were told as crimes happen, homicides happen, homicides with a strong suspect go to the top. Understandable. But she just keeps getting pushed down. I just feel like she's being profiled as unimportant because of her family's background, and that's not fair to her.
I spoke with WSP, who says Alyssa's case is complicated and the evidence requires many different tests, but it is being looked at and processed. From the beginning, police called this a targeted attack on Alyssa. KPD says this is still an active case and they're pursuing new leads, but that information can't be shared publicly. Misty is convinced someone out there knows more about that September morning.
Alyssa didn't like to drive. She usually, she was always in trouble for that because she let other people drive her car. She was on the passenger side of her car. Somebody was in that driver's seat. I believe somebody was in that driver's seat.
Misty's hoping by sharing Alyssa's story and her pictures, justice will be served. Until then, this mother will keep advocating for a precious life cut short and a person forever in their hearts.
I can carry the pain. I wish I could carry it for my kids. But my parents and my kids deserve that. They need that. It affects them every day. I watch my girls the grief is tearing them apart. And I hate it. She needs justice.